Since his stage debut in 1959, he's dazzled us while creating the roles of Bill Sampson in Applause, Frederick Eggerman in Sondheim's A Little Night Music, and of course, Sweeney and Sweeney Todd. And those triumphs are just a tiny part of the story that includes everything from precise and delicate work in contemporary plays to big, thrilling turns as King Lear and Prospero and Henry V.
It's nice, I guess, when somebody says you've reached legendary status, especially if you're still working. That's the kind of thing that I like. That's what I'm proud of.
And there are theater legends who are true artists, who are unfazed by stuffy church basements, anemic paychecks, and zero publicity, if only they have the opportunity to work on great scripts with passionate theater makers. Len, it will not surprise you, is such a true artist. Moreover, he is as good a friend as he is an actor. He is as generous as he is talented. He is as wise as he is humble. And I count it as one of my great joys in life to have had the opportunity to stand on stage with you over the course of our 8-week run.
The first time I ever arrived at Sardi's, he came over to me and he said, "Didn't I just see you play a leper?" I said, "Yes." And he said, "You were the best thing in it." That was the first award for my acting at Sardi's.
To the creators, David Yazbek, Eric De La Pena, and Itamar Moses, I really want to thank them for introducing us to Elmer McCurdy, for trusting us to produce this piece that's very important to them. I don't take that for granted. It is hard for artists to trust, especially when this was our very first traditional musical. And I'm very grateful for that and for the gift that is this incredible show.
And it's also so beautiful to be recognized for something so scrappy. Donnie wrote and created and asked me to collaborate on this beautiful, weird story that nobody knows about this unicorn creature of a human being who did exist and existed exuberantly, without any shame, filled with dignity and purpose and delight and curiosity and a voracious, almost addiction to discovery.
Off-Broadway, for me and for Chris, I feel is a place where we can be, it's a safe place where we can be unsafe. And it's a place where very young Chris Durang could write a play called Titanic, in which the ship just won't sink. And the characters keep wishing and longing and praying that it will. It's where the young Sigourney Weaver on board the Titanic kept a hedgehog in her vagina and fed it lettuce.
My friends would say, I'm bringing my son a lot of times, sometimes my daughter, who's a big gamer, and they've never been at something where they felt seen before. And they feel that there is something that is out there for them. And for me, as a queer kid growing up in Atlanta, that's what theater was for me when I was a kid.
We have a line in the show, which is, tomorrow's story is still unwritten, and you are its truest author. And as we gather here today to just sort of recognize and honor and celebrate the incredible work and people of yesterday and today, I want to just extend that to everyone in this room as well, that may we also just be so excited about what tomorrow holds for Off-Broadway and the work that we do in it.
Let me say that I'm certain that Michael would be especially pleased to share the Off-Broadway Alliance Hall of Fame with some of his close, longtime friends who are already there, such as Robert Patrick, and Alvin Epstein, and Maria Rene Fornes, and dear Marion Seldes.
After the opening of Oz, Mom in the audience came up to me and she thanked me, and she told me that her son, much to her disappointment, often refused to speak Spanish at home. And that after the show, she turned to him in the seat when, the applause was dying down from bows, and she said, "Now do you want to speak Spanish?" And he grinned and nodded yes. I know, I tell that story and it just gets me every time.
But he was very, very good at putting things together that he believed in and executing the necessary activities and behaviors in order to accomplish that thing. He was also a consummate gentleman, and he was charming, and he was elegant and gentle and loving.
It's much more fun for me to be a booster, and it's the kind of review that I love writing the most. When you find someone who has not yet broken and you can help spread the good news. And so I love giving awards. I love writing positive reviews. I also am fine occasionally with not. And I think that's part of being a friend as well.
We were finishing the last production meeting we were doing at the Lortel. Sam Pickleson, our director, just looked at everyone and said, you know, this has been a process where I feel like everyone has really brought their best selves to the process, and we've become a family, and we've really held each other and had so much fun, and usually when that is the case, the show is bad. And I think that this show could only have been created off-Broadway. It is a place where creativity and ingenuity and wild abandon is encouraged and incubated.
Ladies and gentlemen.